Welcome to A Cup of Happy. I'm your host, life coach, mom, and friend, Nicole James. I'm so glad you've joined me to talk about life and the journey from our past to our future as we navigate the present in order to create our very best life. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's chat over a cup of happy. Hi, friends, and welcome back to another episode. I'm so happy that you're here with me today. Truly, I am. I'm going to do this one maybe a little bit different. I'm just going to talk to you from my heart today. I've had an incredible week. I spent all day Monday at a conference for women. Specifically women who are maybe trying to get into entrepreneurship or just have some project that they're wanting to start, or maybe they're just wanting to do something that they've never been able to do before. And the conference was called the Permission Slip Conference, and that was exactly what it was about. Learning how to give yourself permission to do the thing that you want to do. And I got so many nuggets of just pure gold that were so good. I'm going to be just sorting through them for quite a while. I took pages and pages of notes, and so I have a lot on my heart, but specifically one thing that came up as I was reviewing my notes. This was at the beginning of the day, and so I had written it down because it really resonated with me. But then there were so many other things that happened through the day that I'd kind of forgotten that this hit me so hard right in the morning from their very first speaker. Her name is Judy Holler, and she said, "Your dream has no expiration date because it's yours." Okay, so I'm going to talk to all of my friends out there who are more like me, maybe. We've been through a little bit of life, but we still have so much more life ahead of us. And that's what I want to talk about today is that, okay, I dreamed a lot when I was little. I had very specific dreams of what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be. And that all looks very different. Life just shifted for me. Life just took a turn, so many turns that I didn't expect. But there are still pieces of my dreams that are still possible. And they're my dreams. And the fact that somebody told me from a stage that my dream has no expiration date, first of all, let's just dive into that for just a minute. The dream that you had as a little girl, it may have changed because we change. We're the same person at our core, but our ideas change, how we perceive things change. So your dream may look a little different. But maybe there are some dreams that you can still do. Maybe you dreamed of being an actress, and maybe you're not in Hollywood, but maybe there's things that you can do locally. Maybe there's theaters that you can join or improv groups that you can become a part of. Maybe there's an opportunity at your church to begin an acting class or an acting group to utilize in your services or outreaches. There's so many different avenues that I just want to encourage you not to give up on a dream, or maybe you need to dig back and reignite a dream that you lost because you just thought you missed your chance. I just want to remind you that, in case you haven't heard it before, your dream is still alive until you're not. I'm going to say that again. Your dream is still alive until you're not. I have dreams now, and now I'm going to talk about the second half of your dreams don't have an expiration date. So yes, we can go back and we can look at those dreams that we had when we were a kid or when we were younger, and we can reignite those, and those can be very fulfilling for us, to find ways to dive back into those. But what's a dream that maybe you have now that you never had before, but you think that your time is limited? Like if you don't, maybe you're thinking about starting a business, but you only have a 6-month window. Or maybe you decide that you want to write a book, but it should only take you a year, and you've been writing on it for a year and a half, so you might as well just give up. No. You can take all the time that you need. There's no deadline except the deadline that you give yourself when it comes to your dreams. There's no deadline for your dreams except the deadline you give yourself. So give yourself permission to go after the things that you want. Like whether it's just a hobby, whether it's an exciting project that you want to do, maybe it's a career change, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's just trying to bake something new that you've been wanting to do. I don't know, like it could be anything. It could be anything from writing a book to starting a business to learning how to perform on stage or to speak your story on stage. There's so many different things there are as many different things as there are people in this world. We're all so unique and individual that I don't care if you are 25, if you are 45, or if you are 75. If you're still alive, your dreams are still alive, and you still have time to go after them. You don't have to get it done in a day, in a week, in a year. You can do it on your time frame. And that's what I want to encourage you to do today. I want to hype you up today to tell you to go after your freaking dreams. No matter what they are, go after them. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing that. And in more ways than just this podcast is one way that I am going after what I want. But there are other things that I'm kind of doing behind the scenes just for me personally that feel really good to me. And I want you to give yourself permission to do that too. Now, some of you may have these ideas that you can't go after what you want and you don't know how. You don't know how to do it. You don't think that there's time in your life. You think that the people that are around you are going to think it's crazy. They're going to laugh at you or snarl at you, make snide comments. Those are all very real obstacles that we have to deal with. Unfortunately, it does happen. Not everybody has an opportunity to just go after their dreams without one little obstacle or hiccup. But sometimes when it seems like a goal or a dream that we want to go after is constantly being blocked from us, it's because there are other areas of our life that we need to tend to in order to clear the blocks. For example, I can tell you, a relationship, a spouse, partner, somebody in your close circle. For me personally, for years, it was that I was in relationships that were unhealthy for me, and I was in survival mode mentally, not always physically. I'm not saying my life was always in danger, but I was not always happy. And I didn't know how to even dream at some points. I did not know that that was an option. I had literally told myself, I will never forget riding in a car and thinking to myself in the circumstances that I was in, I think I can just live with this for the rest of my life. As clear as day, I will never forget it. It was a decision that I made in that moment in a season of my life where I felt desperate. I felt like there was no hope. And I felt like what I was getting into was potentially the answer, but it wasn't making me happy. But I knew that what seemed like was the best decision for my kids at the time, that I was just going to say, okay, I can do this. I can do this for the rest of my life. And in that season of my life that lasted for more than a decade, there was no dreaming. There was no idea that life could ever look brighter than it did. I lived under a dim light for a very long time. And maybe you find yourself in that situation too, where you've just decided to just settle for the circumstances around you, the relationship that you're in. Like maybe you're afraid that it will just never get better. And you've just kind of resided to the fact that this is just the way it's going to be. From somebody who has been there and who did not make the right decision, let me tell you, please know that it can be better than what it is. Maybe it takes a really hard conversation with your partner, and maybe it takes you sitting down with your spouse and saying, look, this is what I'm honestly feeling. But here's the thing, you can't have those honest conversations with other people until you have them with yourself. That's where I went wrong. I didn't have the ability to look inward and have those conversations with myself and really think about what it was that I needed in that season of my life. But I would say that where we are in this world today, there are so many resources, and not everybody takes advantage of those resources. There are a million podcasts on Spotify and Apple Podcast today that pretty much any topic that you want some information about, it is there for you. It just takes looking for it. And the thing is, a lot of us, we don't even realize that. We don't even think about it. It's like, that's just like self-help crap. Like, but when you actually take a moment to dive in and do the work on yourself, transformed life. I'm telling you, it transforms your life when you take the opportunity to look inward and say, okay, what do I want? What do I want? And for some people, it takes something very, very life-changing to happen for them to actually take the time to say, okay, maybe I need to take a step back and look at this. And that's what happened for me. What happened for me was when my husband passed away from COVID in 2020, I did a lot of looking inward to say, okay, I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be miserable. I've lived a sad life. I've lived small for a very long time. I have put my own dreams aside. I have not even known what some of my dreams were for so long. Anything that I enjoyed as a child, music, orchestras, bands, that was so far gone from my life, but it was something that would bring me such joy if I had the opportunity to do it. These are things that took some time for me to look inward and say, you know what? I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be miserable. I want to explore again the things that brought me happiness. And I did just that. And once I did that, then the next door would open and I would be able to find happiness in the next area and in the next area. And then, of course, as many of you know, I met my amazing husband now. And I have a relationship that is unlike anything I ever thought was possible. The communication, the respect, the love, the adoration, the appreciation for each other, the fact that we truly are a partnership. It is possible to find that. It is possible. It is out there. There are other people out there who are truly wanting a partner in life that they can love and adore just the same way you do. And don't give up on that. Don't give up on that dream. Don't give up on it. I'm telling you, it is worth it. It is worth it. And now that is something that is established in my life, that's not something that I worry about. My relationship is not something that drains me. My relationship gives me life. So now I'm able to have energy to pursue other passions, to even explore them. I can read books and I can go to shows and I can go to an orchestra and I can watch a symphony and I can go to an improv. Like I went this last weekend by myself. I was walking the streets of Greenville, South Carolina by myself while my son was hanging out with some of his teammates after a soccer game. There's a coffee shop downtown, and there was an improv show that was scheduled for 7:30 that night, and it was like 7 o'clock, and I was like, hey, I think I'm going to stick around and go. And I had so much fun, and I laughed, and I sat there in a room by myself with other people in the audience just watching an improv show. So there are things that you can do, but you have to be in a space where you can dive into those and actually look inward and see what it is that makes you happy, what makes you fulfilled. And sometimes it takes, like I said, if your relationship is good, then that's one area you don't have to worry about and you can focus on, okay, how can I improve these other areas? How can I find more joy in hobbies that I do? How can I find more joy in friendships outside of my relationship? Because let me tell you, if your relationship at home is bad and rocky, then either one, you're going to turn to outside relationships in an unhealthy way, or you're going to feel so isolated that you cut yourself off from other relationships and other friendships outside of the one that's not working. So nurture the things that need nurtured. Take evaluation. Is it your career? Does your career not work for you anymore? Is it draining the energy and the life right out of you that you can't enjoy the other areas of your life? Is it your relationships? Is it your friendships? Is it your home life? Maybe you are not doing well in the area of nutrition, and so you're just drained, and that's really become a burden to you because your body is not in a condition that is healthy because you're filling it full of things that, don't bring you life and energy. There's so many areas of life that you can evaluate. Is it your connection to God or that which is greater? That's a big one. That's a big one. And there's so many ways to evaluate each of those areas of our life. There's technically what we call the big five. And when you evaluate those big five areas of your life, you can kind of take inventory as to which ones might need a little bit more nourishing. And then you can really dive into, okay, how am I going to fix this? How am I going to fix this? Maybe it's going to a therapist. Maybe it's going to a best friend. Maybe it's hiring a life coach. Maybe it's listening to podcasts that you have researched on that particular topic that you just take notes and dive in head first. Whatever it is, friend, I hope that you realize that your dreams still matter. Your dreams matter. And if you are in the middle of, rediscovering a dream, if you're in the middle of birthing a new dream, like you just had one, like this idea, and you're like, ooh, let me encourage you. Just take one little step towards it. You don't have to have the whole thing done in a month. You don't have to have reached your goal in 6 months. You are the author of your dream. Go after it. Go after it and do it. Do the thing. Do you want to learn how to quilt? Do you want to learn how to needlepoint? I'm not even sure I know what that is. Are you wanting to learn how to paint? Are you wanting to learn how to just go out and meet new people? That's a skill. Going out and meeting new people is not something that comes easy to a lot of people, but it is a skill that can be acquired. So, that's all I have for you today, my friends. I just want you to to understand that your dream has no expiration date. It is yours. And go after it. Do the thing. I love you, my friends, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your week.